since it's a double hitter.
All right, coming up here on the Brave Sports Network, we have the Nate Kilbert program. As you see, Coach Kilbert getting himself ready. He's not in the dark about what's going on. He knows very well what the Lady Braves have in store. And this is what live video is all about sometimes is we have the Nate Kilbert program coming up here on the Brave Sports Network. Coming up next, assistant coach Ben Mandelbaum will pinch hit for Landon Bussey coming up next. So we'll take a time out here. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll get the Nate programs, the Nate Kilbert Show underway after this timeout here on the Brave Sports Network.
Some names immediately evoke an uncommon sense of family, an unmistakable sense of character, an undeniable sense of legacy. Always. Where trailblazers and innovators chart new paths of possibility. Where academic rigor empowers the strength of character to lead with knowledge and integrity. It's a name that harkens back to over 150 years of truly making a difference in our world. Always Alcorn.
Coming up on the Brave Sports Network, the Nate Kilbert program. You can join the conversation, 601-877-6595. You can text a question, 601-301-2611 on X Tall Man Radio. The Lady Braves are the second hottest team in the Southwestern Athletic Conference down the stretch. Alabama A&M's won 5 in a row. The Lady Braves have won 3 in a row. And man, when you talk about the Lady Braves beating some of the top teams in the league, with the exception of Alabama A&M, they got Jackson State, got Texas Southern, got Southern, and a big game the other night against Texas Southern and a win over Prairie View. And the Lady Braves are putting themselves in position to move up in the standings, but Grambling controls that down the stretch as Grambling will take on the Alabama teams. And of course, we got Valley and Pine Bluff. Our producers, Cedric Tillman and Jamario Brooks. Charles Edmond here. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, head coach Nate Kilbert ready to go as the Lady Braves will play on Thursday and Saturday. We got 2 doubleheaders coming up. The ladies and men will both play on Thursday and Saturday. Then it's on to Atlanta. The Lady Braves right now, the 6th seed. We'll be talking with assistant coach Ben Mandelbaum. He'll pinch hit for Landon Bussey coming up next. Nate Kilbert joining us here. Lady Braves red hot. As a old colleague says, hot as fish grease. Even though I like fish, I like chicken too. Hot as chicken grease, hot as fish grease. But the Lady Braves are red hot right now, beating the top teams in the league, including Texas Southern the other night. Coach Kilbert, how you doing?
Doing good, Charles. Excited about the coming up games against Mississippi Valley and Arkansas Pine Bluff. Hoping that we can close this thing out on a 2-game winning streak, which would turn into a 5-game winning streak.
Well, Coach, it's nothing like winning. I mean, I look at you, whether we are on a 3-game losing streak or a 3-game winning streak, you have a very even keel about things. You know, when we're struggling in non-conference, had injuries in non-conference, you felt like you're going to get this thing fixed. You're going to get this thing worked out. Even in conference, some tough losses, some losses to teams below us in the standings, but you still felt like we're going to get this thing turned around. You have a very even keel approach. Where did that come from?
Well, I think it's just all part of being an athlete myself. Understand that you're gonna go through some times where you're uncomfortable, and I think it's a matter of just getting used to being uncomfortable because there's no way you can play the number of games that we play and everything is just smooth sailing. It's just no way that can happen. Your ability to be able to get through those moments and get through those times is your character. It tells a lot about who you are. And I think this team has really proven that we have a strong character chart. And all we got to do is just keep doing what we've been doing. We've been finding ways to make plays. We've been finding ways to get through games, even when we're playing bad. You know, we have really picked our defense up, and I think that's one of the biggest thing about this group. We're probably playing better defense than we played, and since I've been here, to be honest with you, overall, from our press to our man-to-man, we getting after people, and I think a lot of times we can't do some of the things that we wanted to do because we just so beat up. Now we're kind of healthy. We're kind of able to do some of the things that we really wanted to do in the early part of the year, but everything ain't gonna be easy. You know what I mean? I think you have to be able to work through those times and understand that it's the basketball and athletics is all about ups and downs. It's the way you respond to your ups and downs what describes how good your team is going to be.
Well, LeBron James said this, and what you're just saying as well. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable if you're going to succeed in sports. And so we've been on every year we've had injuries, every year we've had issues, we've had a whole bunch of stuff going on. But last year at this time, you felt like we're going to get this thing turned around. We were left on the side of the road by a lot of people, wouldn't make the tournament. Not only did we make it, we made it to the championship game. And so being uncomfortable to you, coach, it sounds like that's just where you live. And if you're going to get better, you got to work through being uncomfortable and turn it around.
Well, I agree with you, Charles, because like I said, I played this game. I understand that every time you step out there on that floor, you have to prove yourself. I think a lot of times kids don't understand that. Just because you played good
This
yesterday
one in the
doesn't mean that you're
conference.
going to have that
Destiny
same
Brown
kind of
on the
game today
attack. Her
if you
pull up
don't
on the
put the
elbow
effort
is
in.
good. It
And I
rattles
think that's
home.
very
Holmes with
important
15 to
for our
shoot.
kids to know.
Destiny on the dunk
You
in
just
the
got to
seal.
stay
The layup
solid,
and
continue to
scores.
believe in what you believe in,
Destiny
continue to do the things
Brown.
that got you to the point where you are a good basketball team. And when you can do those things, I think you're going to be all right in the long run. Don't start pointing fingers at each other. I think that's the key right there. Our kids don't do that anymore. I mean, they are backing each other, whether it's a good play or bad play. And I think that's how you become a real good basketball team. We're starting to trust each other. And I think last year this time we were still on the brink of are we going to make the tournament? This year we know we're in the tournament. It's just a matter of we're going to move up to five, in which 5 and 6 to me it's the same seed. It's no different. So. We're in a great position. We just got to continue to play good basketball and continue to believe in each other.
Well, we didn't have you on last week, Coach. Obviously, coming off of the big Jackson State win and riding the high of that, you can easily get ahead of yourself after beating Jackson State. You got drenched with the $10,000 suit that you had on against Jackson State. Has it dried out? Has it dried out as of yet?
Yeah, I made sure I got home. When I got home, I put it on a hanger, and I got it away from all the other clothes, and it's looking great now. Because I was scared that it wasn't going to dry out the right way. Because you have to be careful when you wet clothes up like that, because you don't want to send those type clothes to the cleaner immediately. I just got that suit, to be honest with you, so the tailor told me you can't be sending it to the cleaner. You got to give it some time to kind of migrate a little bit, to the point where you don't have anything on it. So I didn't send it to the cleaners because it was just water. Now it had to been Gatorade or something. That'd have been different. And I'm glad it wasn't Gatorade.
Yeah, yeah. But hopefully you'll be wearing that again once we get deep in the tournament. And the tournament starts next week, by the way. And the Lady Braves look like at this point in time, as a 6th seed, they'll be playing next Thursday. The men is a whole nother story, trying to get out of that 7 through 10. But the Lady Braves, it looks like they're going to avoid that. They won't drop, by the way. They won't drop below 6, could move up to a 5. Depending on what Grambling does, they have the tiebreaker on the Lady Braves, so we'll see what happens with Grambling. But as you mentioned, 5 and 6, it's about what as they say. But let's take a look at Texas Southern, Coach, coming in. Burnett Skeets Ball Club coming in, and really you wanted to see how this team responded against the top team. And Texas Southern was the top team in the league coming to the Whitney Arena. As we're going to look at the highlights of it, talk a little bit about the keys to that game and how we're able to get it done.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna say is that Coach Skeeter's been doing a great job with her group, and for her to lose her point guard in the middle of the year, that's hard. She lost her quarterback, and now she's got to scramble a little bit simply because it's hard to replace that. We lost our point guard the second game of the season, and it took us time to get our other point guards to play in the way we would like for them to play. But she's good at what she does, and she got that team to playing pretty good basketball even without their point guard. So we knew it was going to be a tough basketball game coming in here. Skeet went to school here. I know she wanted to come in and put on a great show for her fans here, because a lot of people love her here. I just think she's been doing a great job with the team, and she got them to play well here. We had to really step our game up to have an opportunity to win this game. I think this game was nipped and tucked the whole entire way. We just made the plays when we needed to make them, and that's what winning is all about. It's not necessarily playing great all the way through, but playing great when you need to play. And I think our kids have been really been doing that. They've been making shots when we need to make shots. We've been getting rebounds when we need to get rebounds. We've been turning people over a lot. We ain't been converting on all of them like we would like to, but I think this is just a matter of time when we start getting more points off our turnovers. So it was a great ball game. Her team came to play. We came to play, and that's what fans want to see. It's an exciting ball game, and we gave them a good show.
Well, it wasn't a great show early on. It was 7-6 at the end of the first quarter. Texas Southern with the lead, and I'm, my stomach dropped a little bit because I'm like, here we go. We're struggling to scores in one of those quarters in which the lulls. We've talked about it throughout the season, and we've had that at times, but we're able to D up, we're able to man up and kind of slow Texas Southern down. But that first quarter, 7-6, is about as low scoring as you can get.
Well, who favorite was that in? Was it in ours or theirs? We thought it was a great quarter to have Texas Southern on score. For them to only score 7 points and they average 70 something a game. We felt like, oh yeah, we got this game right where we wanted to be. And I thought both teams were solid defensively. Even though we did get a lot of good looks, we just missed. But anytime you can keep those scores down that low, I think that favors the Lady Brave because in our half court game, you let us get a lead on you, you're gonna really struggle to catch up with us because of the way we play. So the lower we can keep quarters, surely we don't want to score 6 points a quarter, but if we can hold our opponents to 7, we think we're gonna score more than 6 most of the time. So I thought we did a good job in that first quarter of keeping them from scoring because that is not our problem. We're gonna find ways to score. We're gonna get our backdoor layups in there. We're gonna get those little short shots from the elbow. If we can keep other teams from scoring, our chances of winning go sky high.
Yeah, 7-6 at the end of the first quarter. So talk about the pace. Was the pace kind of we've talked about it throughout the course as we've seen Charmaine Finley knocked out a tough shot and she had a solid game. But was the pace from the start, even though it was cold shooting for both teams, did you like the pace throughout the game?
I felt good about the pace. I felt like we was in control of the pace, whether it was fast or slow. I felt like we was in control, and I think that's the most important thing because we can play both ways. We can play fast, we can play slow, but as long as we controlling the action when we play fast and when we playing slow, and I think that was important. And I thought we was controlling the action. I think at one point in the game it got out of hand a little bit where you could feel Texas Southern gaining momentum and get control of the tempo a little bit more. But for the majority of the game, I really felt like we controlled the tempo of the game, and that's what we like to do. We like to be in charge. We like to do things the way we want to do it, and I think that's key to us winning. Is controlling the tempo of the game, whether it's fast.
Yeah, it was a 20-11 second quarter, coach. So we turned it up in the second quarter. That was really the difference in the game. It was kind of even in the second half. We outscored them 20-11 in the second quarter. It was 26-18 at halftime. Talk about how you felt about your team through the first 20 minutes.
Well, good about some of the things we was doing. I felt good even after the first quarter. I felt like we were getting real good shots. We just wasn't making it. Anytime we run our offense shots for Finley, Brown, and White getting that little short jumper, or we getting our back door, we just not finishing. I feel good about where we are. Because of the shots that we're getting, normally the shots that we're getting. But at the same time, our teams want to make us take those shots and convince them that we can make those shots. But we can make those shots. That's the thing. They think they're giving us, the lesser poison, but they actually giving us what we want. We just got to take our time to make them. Because those elbow shots, that's Finley shot, that's Destiny shot. We just got to get more consistent and make it. Because when we do, we are a real dangerous team. Now we're going to drive by you because you got to come up on us. We're going to get those backdoor cuts simply because you get in the passing lane. I think that's what makes us dangerous. And that's why I feel good about the game and the score at that just early first quarter. Now it's just a matter of us taking our time making our shots. And, if we get involved going to the free throw line, making our free throws.
Coach, we're going to take a break right here. I think you might have some Wi-Fi issues over there. So we'll take a break here. We'll reset. We'll be right back after this as the Nate Kilbert Show continues here on the Braves Sports Network. It's some bad weather out here, by the way, and that might have a part in it as well. So we'll take a break here. We'll be right back after this.
We always believe in the power of curiosity. Our students don't just study. They reimagine possibilities. Every moment is an invitation to explore, to challenge, to transform how the world understands knowledge. Within our College of Arts and Sciences, discovery meets transformation. Your breakthrough starts here. Always mentoring, always connected, always All-Core.
Can I get the now bar, please?
$1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1. Appreciate you.
You got it.
All right, we welcome you back. The weather was pretty bad on campus today, where they dismissed the university about 12:30. The weather came through here where I am about 1ish, 1:30, and it's gonna be rough as it heads east. Coach Kilbert, can
Well,
you
we
hear me,
just
sir?
we just got our lights back over here in Charles about an hour ago. We didn't have any
Okay.
lights, so we just got our lights back. Yeah.
Also, the weather was bad down there on campus as well, and they let school out at around 12:30. So we understand that, and with the way these things are set up with these connections, the weather can wreak havoc. Well, the Lady Braves wreaked a bunch of havoc on Texas Southern with a big win over TSU. Coach, what impressed you the most about the win? Taking on the number one team, coming into the Whitney Arena. We know what happened in the first meeting in Houston. It was 70-48. But this team really responded and has been responding over the last several games. What was the big difference in this TSU win?
I think the biggest thing that I was impressed with was our defense. I mean, for the last 4 or 5 ball games, we have really been solid defensively. We locking down on people because if you don't get up on Texas Southern, get up in their face and make them do things they're uncomfortable with, they're a great shooting basketball team. I mean, they're one of the high scoring, high power offenses that you're gonna have to deal with in this conference. So you got to get up on them. You got to force them to do things they're uncomfortable with. And I thought our kids did a real good job of staying up on them, contesting their shots, and lately we haven't been fouling as much. I think that's been our problem. We've been fouling too much. We got to make teams make shots on us and not put them at the line. And I think that's going to be key for the last 3 or 4 ball games. We've been playing solid defense without fouling. We haven't been putting people to the line a lot. So I think that was key.
21 personal fouls in that Texas Southern game, and you did have to navigate some fouls early in that game. Some players got in early foul trouble. How do you deal with that when you have players like Destiny Brown getting into early foul trouble, or Charmaine Finley? When you get 2 early fouls, you have to navigate that. What's the number one thing you have to do? You're making decisions whether to keep players on the floor to avoid getting a cheap third foul in the first half. I know you had to navigate some stuff with that game.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just who's up next. I think that's the question because we have pretty good depth. This is one of the years that we're pretty good depth wise, and we have a lot of kids can do a lot of different things. Maybe we don't have the scoring when we get in foul trouble. When we bring new people in the game, we maybe it's not as good scoring team as we would be if that person was in the game. But we pick up in other areas like defensively. We can press you more now. We get turnovers and get easy baskets now. So I think that's the difference is we just the next person up, and whoever that next person's been has been solid for us. It's always somebody stepping up from the 4 position or the 2-3 position because we have a lot of depth in those areas. It's just a matter of them coming to play every night and doing what they need to do to give us a chance to win. And I think that's the most important thing. If we don't get so caught up, we don't want anybody to get in foul trouble, but we don't get so caught up into that. We would like for our kids to go into the second half with only 1 foul, but 2 fouls, that's not a lot of fouls going into the second half. As long as you don't get both of them in the first quarter, you know what I mean? So I just think it's a matter of our kids just stepping up when it's their time, and pretty much all year our kids been doing that. The next person up been doing a good job.
Charmaine Finley at 20 points, coach, her best game of the year. You said you were never worried about Charmaine Finley, when she would get it going. It looks like she is starting to round out into shape, season high for her.
It was, and Finland is going to be key for us moving forward because she's going to open the game up for so many other people like Dick White, Cheatham. She's going to open that game up for her because you have to play her at the elbow. You can't allow her to have that shot. So when you come play her at the elbow, that leave those back door cuts open for people cutting back door. If you got someone who's not a great shooter at the elbow, you can bag off of them and force them to shoot the ball. They're not going to do that with Finley. Finley brings the same thing Claytor brings to the game. This alone helps your team. and I just think that's key because she's really getting it going now. I think the most impressive thing about her right now, she's putting it on the floor well. She's taking it to the basket and drawing those fouls, and that's going to expand her game. That's going to make her more dangerous now. I just hope she continue to play well for us and continue to have that confidence that I know she will, because she's going to make us a much better basketball team.
The kid Cheatham had 14 rebounds, coach. Solid effort from her, especially on the boards.
Well, that's her game, Charles. That's her game, is rebounding the ball offensively and defensively. When Cheatham does that, she makes our team so dangerous. And because she's one thing, she's not allowing the other team to get second chance opportunities. She's getting us extra opportunities. And I think that's huge. And for every game I always tell her, hit the boards, because I know how important that is. And she doesn't get a lot of credit for what she does, because she's a great rebounder. She makes our team go from rebound. She's a great person, and a lot of times people don't recognize her enough simply because she don't score a bunch of points, but she's always getting around 8, 9, and 13, 12 rebounds. That's a big night for most people. So we just hope she continue to rebound the ball for us, because if she does that, we're hard to beat.
Lady Braves with a big win over Texas Southern, and now Coach Prairie View. And Prairie View got our attention because they beat Jackson State. That was one that we didn't expect to see. But 61-39, wall to wall, got everybody involved. That was just a complete effort. Talk about that.
Charles, you think they got out beat Jackson when they beat us? Which one you think it was? I, I think they, I think they got our attention when they beat us. And that out in Prairie View, I think that got our attention. We didn't have all our people, but still, we understand that, okay, this team already showed what they can do. We just got to make sure that we are prepared and ready to go. Now, them beating Jackson really woke us up too. Now we see that they are still playing good basketball. I think they might have been on a 2 or maybe 3 game winning streak when they came into our game. They had been playing well, I know that. So yeah, absolutely, they had our attention. We was ready to play, and you can see by the way we got out that we was ready to play.
Amari Williams, their big center, is what stirs the drink for them. And you were concerned about Amari Williams. 10 points and 1 rebound in the game. Is in your opinion, going forward, as we look at Prairie View, is she the one that we really had to focus on?
Well, I think she's the one that we had to make sure didn't have a big game against us, because she can dominate the game both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, because she can get you in foul trouble, and she can get your beat in foul trouble. And I think that's what makes her so dangerous, simply because of her ability to be able to score down low, her ability to be able to rebound the ball. She changed the game, and I think that's what makes her so dangerous. And when she in the game, you have to pay extra attention to her. I mean, you have to think about doubling her, and that opens up for them. So she makes them a dangerous team when she's got a game face on and she's playing real good basketball.
Lady Braves with a big win, as you could see. Just everything was free flowing. We played loose, Coach. I thought we played with a lot of confidence. Everything was open to us. The sky was the limit, inside out. You got more in the game late. It's just one of those efforts in which everything was going.
Well, I think it's all about the legs. We had fresh legs, and that's what you want. And there are times when we have played, and I feel like we just feel like our legs weren't there, to be able to move like we need to move. But we look like a well-oiled machine against Prairie View with the way we got up and down the floor, the way we ran and just getting all those 50-50 balls. Because I really think 50-50 balls kind of tell where you are during the game. If you're getting a lot of them, you all right. But if you're getting a lot of those balls, you're not getting them. It says something about your team. I feel like we was doing a good job of getting those 50-50 balls, and we just had fresh legs, man. Like, it was fun, and that's what the game is. Just get out there and have fun, and I thought our kids did a good job of that.
Well, the Lady Braves with a big victory over PVU, and now the schedule changes. Now you got Thursday and Saturday games, the last 2 games of the regular season. Coach, of the seniors playing their final games at the Whitney Arena. Just talk about those seniors, Coach. You had this past Saturday was Senior Day. Just talk about that and the job that they did.
Well, I was just glad to see them in the way they did, at David Whitney Arena, to come out and play the way they did those last games. I mean, they really gave the crowd something to see, because Zanaya White's been with us her whole career. I mean, she came as a freshman, and just to see her be able to have a good game, Brown been with us a while. Janae Anderson been with us for 2 years. We just feel good about those seniors. We felt like they did a good job responding and wanting to go out in style. Miss those guys because they're a big part of what we like to do. Kiki Henderson had a big game, and she just all over the place again. We were just so happy. We was glad we could have the opportunity to celebrate them in the way that we did. I think it was huge for our program to have kids who committed to us and stayed with us. And I think that's key. We don't have a lot of kids jumping on the transfer portal. And people don't think about that. That's hard not to have. Especially when we don't have some of the resources that some of the other schools have. But to be able to convince our kids to stay here, that's huge. And all those seniors stayed, and they're going to reap the benefits of actually staying together and playing with each other.
Well, Coach, you got Mississippi Valley coming up on Thursday, and you said you want this one badly because there was some trash talking after Valley beat us at our place at the Whitney Arena. So you want to get a little payback. I didn't know that it took place. I mean, but hey, it's the competitive spirit, and sometimes those things happen. So you got Mississippi Valley on Thursday. What do you expect from the Delta Devils, who I think play much differently at the Harrison Complex than they do on the road?
Yeah, they do. But they're gonna still do the same thing they've been doing. It's just taking a bunch of quick shots, and if they're making them, you're in trouble. You're gonna have to really defend them. They do the same thing on the road. They just don't shoot the ball as well on the road as they do at home. But I think the key to all of that is Valley's trying to make the tournament. So we know
Yeah.
they're going to be ready to play, and they really, I think they need to win one game to make the tournament, and we trying to make sure it ain't us. We ain't trying to help them, and that's the biggest thing about it. And I think they know that. But I feel good about going into Mississippi Valley and having a great chance of winning the game if we just play our game. The biggest problem against Valley, as bad as we played, we still had a chance to win that game with some of our key people with Henderson not being there. If we make free throws and make layups, and we still win that game. But I know one thing we cannot do. We cannot put them to the free throw line 40 times. We just can't do that and have a chance to win the game. We did it at home and had a chance to win the game. Well, we foul them 40 times and it'll be we're going to get blowed out. And I just really feel that way. So we've been a good defensive team as of late. So we got to continue to be that good defensive team and not stop slapping down and just keep our hands straight up and force them to make some of them tough shots that they are shooting, which they're actually just throwing the ball up there and we bailing them out because we're fouling them. So if we can just do a better job of contesting and not fouling, I think we'll have a great opportunity to win the game.
And then you got UAPB on Saturday. After the Saturday game, Coach, you're going to come back home for a short period, and then you're heading to Atlanta on Sunday. So quick turnaround after that last regular season game.
It really is, Charles. But normally that's the way it is, though. It's a quick turnaround. We know that. Unfortunately, we can't play our tournament earlier. Get some of these regular season games over and have a little time to kind of get yourself together for the tournament. But it is what it is. It ain't like that. One team got an advantage on the other. Only advantage that you have is you come in the top six and you get a chance to kind of look at things a little bit more. And if you come in the 7, 8, 9, or 10, now you're gonna have to play real quick. So we got ourselves in a good position to kind of look at things a little more. We just got to be careful on how we approach things when it comes to our legs and how we handle the tournament itself. We got to get our kids to understand that you might not can go out and watch all those games at the tournament. You got to be preparing for yourself to play. And a lot of times kids forget that they want to see all the other teams play, and and lose focus on you, the one that's got to get ready to play. Don't worry about what they're doing. But at the same time we want the kids to experience the tournament too. Now we want them to have a good time, but don't forget why we're there. And I think our kids are focused and understand why we are there.
Well, next year, all 12 teams will be in the tournament. I'm anxious to see, and I have the bracket here with this 10-team deal, but I'm anxious to see how this bracket is going to look with 12 teams, with all of our teams in it. Double buys probably. I'm just guessing and see how it'll look for next year. That's Lady Braves head coach Nate Kilbert, 6 o'clock tip-off. And in being a coach, it's a doubleheader.
Charles,
Yeah.
I got to ask you one thing. Are you sure it's 6 o'clock? Because I got it's a double hitter. I'm thinking it probably more 5:30.
5:30. Okay.
because the
So
because the boys are playing.
okay.
That's
So
what I'm thinking.
5:30.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, we will
yeah.
confirm that for sure. But it'll be an old-fashioned SWAC doubleheader, 5:30 from the Harrison Complex in Itta and with the men's game to follow. And then we got another doubleheader on Saturday in Pine Bluff. Well, Coach, we'll be talking to you tomorrow and Thursday in Itta. Should be fun. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Charles.
That's Lady Braves head coach Nate Kilbert. Some bad weather down on campus, kind of impacting the Wi-Fi situation there. We appreciate him hanging there with us. Ben Mandelbaum, he's in Vicksburg. He will be joining us pinch hitting for Landon Bussey, and he'll be joining us after this 2-minute timeout for the Nate Kilbert program. Ben Mandelbaum pinch hitting for Coach Bussey tonight. We'll take a timeout here. We'll be right back after this on the Braves Sports Network.